Go ahead and tap in. I got a few more minutes before I run. Go ahead and tap in. I got a few more minutes. Bianca 1. Bianca Taylor going once. Bianca Taylor going twice.
Hey, I'm here.
How you doing, gorgeous?
Hi, I'm not single and I don't have natural hair, but
where you at in the world, Sister B?
I'm currently in Chester, PA.
Oh, you in Chester, right up the street?
Yep.
I used to be the school psychologist, one of the school psychologists for the Chester Upland School District.
Oh, okay.
Yes, ma'am. Go right ahead. What's on your mind, Queen? First of all, what's going on in Chester? Because y'all got some.
Own a event space. I sent you a message about you coming out and maybe speaking.
Wait
to
a
some
minute,
of
you
the
own
brothers out
an
here.
event space? Wait a minute, did you just
Yes.
say you own an event space?
Yes.
Do you have my cell number? Do you have my cell number?
I guess I can get it. It's on your page.
Write it now. Take it now. Take it now. You got a pen?
Yeah.
Because we might do the Black Parent training in Chester. We might bring the training to Chester for Pennsylvania.
Yes. All right, I got a pen.
215
Mm-hmm.
989
Mm-hmm.
9858.
9858. Okay.
Okay, and I want you to text me. Do you have any pictures of this place you can send me?
Yes, I do.
Send me. Yeah. How many can you sit in there comfortably with tables and chairs?
Comfortably, we can sit about 200 people.
That's good enough. That's good enough. We may do the training. As long as you don't hurt me on the rental price, we can do the training.
No, we're gonna take care of you.
Okay, we can do the training. Now, let me also say this for my Chester family. For my, Chester is special to me, not only because I did a lot of years there as a school psychologist, but also the good Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. went to college in Chester. A lot of people don't know that. Dr. King got his theology degree at Chester Theological Seminary. Did you know that?
No, I didn't.
Yes, Dr. King went
crazy.
to school in Chester. Yes. So, Chester has a special energy, but also because we have the school in Wilmington, and Wilmington and Chester are very close.
Yes.
Maybe 20 minutes. We're one of the bus locations will be in Chester. So black boys who live in Chester will be bus from Chester to Wilmington every day for school. There's going to be a bus from Chester. There's going to be a bus from Camden, New Jersey. There's going to be some buses inside of Delaware. And then there's going to be a bus from Maryland. So we're going to have 4 different states represented. But with that being said, tell me about Chester. Is Chester still wild? Like, what's going on in Chester?
It's crazy right now. And that brings me to my question. I wanted to know, what do you have to say to the brothers who are right now living in the hood, faced with violence every day, maybe inflicting it themselves onto people? What advice do you have for anybody from Chester listening right now on what they can do to contribute to the bettering of their community right now?
We got to organize. And I'm going to put this on you too, Sister B. I'm going to put this on you. Since you have a meeting space, me and you need to talk, because one thing I wouldn't mind doing for Chester is I wouldn't mind coming there maybe once a month and doing a regular black men's meeting where we sit down as black men and talk about different issues that's going on in Chester, PA. You know what I mean? And we could talk about whether we want to limit that to Chester or allow any black man to come. I'll leave that up to you, but you're not that far from me in Philadelphia, so we can set up something regular since you own your own space, and that's not something a lot of us own. Okay, we can do something regular for the brothers, and if you want, we could even do something for the sisters too. So once a month for the brothers, a place where you can come and share and talk, and it could be different things. We may talk about fatherhood one week, we may talk about violence another time, we may talk about organizing to force, the government of Chester to help black men get jobs, because one of the big things in Chester is the schools are horrible, right?
Yes,
and
terrible.
There's no jobs. So if you're a black man and you coming out of the SCI Chester, you know what I mean? And you looking for a job and you don't want to go back to jail, where can you get a job at in Chester? You know what I mean?
Right.
So I think that that dialogue will begin to bring about political organization where we can press for change. And since I don't physically live in Chester, it'll be good for me to do it because I'm a neutral party. So can't nobody say he's on their side, he's on their side. I'm on the side of the people. You know what I mean? I'm on the side of the people. So let's talk, sis, because we can start doing some regular stuff in Chester.
Okay. That's great.
I'm very interested in it. I'm glad you tapped in because I didn't know anybody in Chester that had a space where we can meet. I used to work with Anthony Johnson. You familiar with Anthony Johnson?
I'm actually not from Chester. We bought a couple properties out here, so I'm just new to all of this. So I really probably wouldn't know.
Now, you physically reside there now, or you just come and go? Okay.
No, I physically reside here now.
Okay, good. So you're kind of new coming in too, which will be good, you know, because there's no previous, you know what I mean? Sometimes when people are homegrown, there's a contingency of others who don't want to trust them for whatever reason. So the fact that you coming in fresh, I'm coming in fresh, but obviously I have history in Chester working for the kids and working in the school system there. We can do some stuff together.
Okay.
All right. That's so make sure you send me that text message of the property. Also send me the address so I can GPS the distance. And we might even do a face-to-face, just you and I, so I can walk through it. I'll probably meet you there one day next week, you know, at your leisure, walk through it, choose a date, and we could just start advertising, let them know this is the first event.
That's perfect. That's perfect.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I'm going to look forward to talking to you, and don't forget to send that text message.
I won't.
All right, Queen. Have a blessed one. All right.
Me too.
I'm loving that right there, brothers and sisters. I'm loving that because the school is in Wilmington. So if I can organize Chester is a nice little satellite from Wilmington. We're going to organize Philly. Now I got to go organize Jersey. And then I got to organize Northern Maryland. And we're going to make this thing pop. We're going to make this thing pop. It's now or never. We can do this, y'all. We can do this. We can definitely do this. I'm working on a college tour. Peace and love, sister. How you doing there?
I'm doing amazing. Thank you.
Where you at in the world, Goddess? Where you at in the world?
I'm in Atlanta.
Atlanta, Georgia. Go right ahead, Queen. What's on your mind today?
So first of all, I'm an activist and community advocate. And so I'm about to go on tour to different urban cities, especially my hometown of Flint, Michigan. They need so much help there right now. But my purpose and my goal is to do more protection in our hoods and to build more generational wealth. I have an amazing program that we're about to do to build generational wealth. But what do you think is some of the most important things that we can do to not only protect our neighborhoods, but to build generational wealth within the community, to turn it into a community? Because we don't have communities, we have neighborhoods. That's why they call them hoods.
Well, number one, I think we have to accumulate wealth so we can use it to make major power moves. You know what I mean? We got to have $250,000 to go and buy that supermarket. We need $500,000 to go and buy that car lot. You know what I mean? We got to start making power moves so we can employ black folks. So credit unions are critical. One of the best things you can do, start that credit union, influence other people to put their money in there, because that's how white folks are able to take over the neighborhood, because they go to their bank or they go to their credit union and they let the credit union know, we about to do this in the name of white folks. We're going to take back the black ghetto in the name of white folks. So the bank say, wow, I can make a lot of money off this. So they'll give them a $5 million line of credit straight up. Go buy everything you're going to buy as long as y'all put all your money in my bank. That's how that works. So the problem is we don't have enough banks and credit unions to do the same thing for ourselves. Everybody is working from a personal bank account. Personal bank accounts are not going to save black folks. We have to accumulate that money on a large scale inside of a credit union. So when you need to buy something or make something happen, you got $1 million right there at your fingertips.
But do we not have to go through their systems in order to be approved, which is already rigged?
Yes, but the credit union, though, is a simpler form of being able to save money. Banks are more difficult. Banks are much more difficult. The credit union is not difficult at all. Now, we have a lot of black churches that have credit unions, but those black churches only use that credit union to do what? Make more money for the church, make more money for the pastor, make more money to build a bigger church. We need credit unions for the people. We don't have a lot of credit unions in our community are named after the people, but they don't do anything for the people, if you follow what I'm saying. Because most of them are run by the who? The church. And the church isn't interested in black power. The church is only interested in black dollars.
I mean, I personally think that the church should have to pay a tax to the hood.
I think they should too, because the black church takes too much money away from black people and it doesn't give us anything in return. The church in the 21st century is a parasitic organization. The church is a parasitic organization. Nobody wants to admit it because of our historical connection to Christianity in this country. But the black church is a parasitic organization. But I do want to say this to you. You're from Flint. How long have you been away from home out of Flint?
I've been here 15 years, but my entire family is still there. My mother is still there and taking showers in the water.
I want to throw something at you. I want to throw something at you. I spoke in Flint one time, 3 years ago, Martin Luther King Day. Boys and Girls Club brought me out there. It was jam-packed. They've been asking for me to come back to Flint. I haven't been back. So since you have connections there, talk to your family. See if we can find a space where I can come back and do two things. Number one, I want to hold the black parent training for Michigan in Flint.
Yes.
You follow me? Now, I got some people looking in Detroit, but if we can find a place soon enough in Flint, we'll do it in Flint. But even if we do the black parent training in Detroit, I still want to do a community lecture in Flint. You follow me? So once you find a space, we can go ahead and choose a date, start pumping the word, and get the people on out there.
Oh, I know. I already got a space. I got the Broom Center right now. My boy helps run. That's our biggest community center. And
How many can they seat in there comfortably?
Well, they have an auditorium.
Okay. Was it an old school? It used to be a school, or?
They've done some schools in there, but it's a community center where kids can come in and do boxing.
Is it run by black folks?
Absolutely.
Because let me tell you why I asked you that. And this is for everybody's benefit who's listening. I have a group of coons on YouTube. And there's 3 of them in particular, and I don't want to give their name. But whenever I speak anywhere in the world for the past 5 years, they contact every single venue and try to force them to cancel my lectures and events. So the reason I asked you if it was black owned, because the minute we start advertising that Dr. Umar is going to be at this community center, those Negroes are going to contact that center and they're going to try to get them to force a cancellation of the event. So we got to make sure we got people in that center who, when they get the phone call, get the email, they can shut that down. You know what I mean? He's not coming for that. He's coming for the people. These are just haters. I want you to know that, because if they're not stand up black folks, you know, then these haters will have an opportunity to cancel the event, and I don't want that to happen.
Well, you ain't got to worry about that. The dude that run it, he's formerly incarcerated, and he actually has an organization where he helps men get jobs. Mm-hmm. And he is the OG, not only in the hood, but in the nonprofit system. So we'll cut right through that. So actually, I'm going to get on the phone with him today. And do you have a time frame of days?
Once you get on the phone with him and he says straight, get his Saturday and Sunday availability. Because what we'll probably do is do the training on Saturday, right? And do the lecture the very next day on Sunday afternoon after church. Because the parent training is 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. So that's 12 hours. Make sure he knows that, 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. And then the next day, Saturday, for the lecture, we'll get in at 12 o'clock to set up, 2 o'clock to open the doors, lecture from about 4 to 6, book signing and questions from 6 to 8. So Sunday, 12 to 8, Saturday, 8 to 8.
Okay, and are you thinking like February, March, April, anytime?
February is not out the question. See what the availability is. February is not out the question, but I'm thinking more springy, though. I'm thinking more April, May-ish. But get his Saturdays, because he might say, you know, get as many Saturday, Sunday open. We want him back-to-back, Saturday, Sunday, and see what he got available. And we'll work with him. We'll work with him. See what he got. Because he might say, I got everything available, which is good, because then I could just plug in. But if he gives you like 8 Saturdays that he got, you can let me know those Saturdays, and then I'll see which ones I got available.
Oh, you want to do multiple weeks?
Say that again.
You want to do multiple weeks?
No. We just going to do the one. But because I'm always scheduling, I always got to have more than one date. Like sometimes people will come back to me with one date. And I'm like, well, you know, I'm going to be in Africa that date. You know what I mean? So it's good to have more than one. And if you notice that he has a lot of Saturdays or a lot of Sundays, but he don't have a lot of Saturdays and Sundays together, that's fine. Because we can do the Black parent training in Detroit, but still do that community lecture for Flint. So even if he says, I got some Saturdays, but I ain't got no Sundays right with him, or I got some Sundays, I ain't got no Saturdays, we can still mess with that. That just means the lecture will be on a different weekend than the training. So we can work with it.
Yeah, he may be a good contact for Detroit as well.
Okay.
So,
okay.
So I'll get this together. And you said
do you have my cell? Do you have my cell?
Yeah, you said I already wrote it down. You said 215-989-9858.
Correct.
All right, brother. I'll be in touch soon.
Okay, love. Thank you.
No problem.
All right. It's all about organizing, building. It's all about networking. That's what we do. Get your resumes in, FDMG resumes. Don't forget, the first annual Big Papa Caribbean Cruise is coming up this summer. Who going on a cruise with Dr. Umar? This is going to be my first cruise, first ever cruise. It's the first annual Prince of Panafrikanism Caribbean cruise. I think we're going to do the Bahamas, Bermuda, 9 nights, 10 days. I will have the information in a couple of weeks. Ladies, get your bathing suits. Fellas, get ready. It's the first annual Dr. Papa cruise, and it's going to be off the chain. You understand? Go ahead and tap in. Lavishly designed, going once. Lavishly designed, going twice. Sister Lavishly, how we doing there, Queen? Where you at in the world?
I'm wonderful. Queen? Can you hear me?
Yes, I can. Where are you in the world?
I'm in Atlanta, Georgia.
Oh, wow. That's where the last sister was at. All right.
Oh, yes.
Indeed,
yes.
Indeed.
So I am single and I am natural.
All right. I heard that. What's on your mind today, beautiful?
I was, I'm enlightened by your conversations and the conversations you've had with the previous individuals. And I wanted to talk about, I was throwing up some messages, and I'm organizing domestic violence. I'm an advocate for domestic violence as well as gun violence within our youth. I'm a victim of domestic violence. I'm a victim of a murder, suicide victim as well. I lost my daughter to gun violence, and that was and it's all within our youth. And I'm wondering what are we doing and what are we not doing? What is that gray area that's causing our children to result to hurting one another rather than loving on one another? Back in the days, it used to be just fighting. Now they actually are getting into their feelings and they actually want to take one another's lives. Yeah. Why do you think that is?
Well, first of all, take my number before we continue to talk, because my phone only got a little bit of energy, and in case we get clocked off, I want you to be able to reach out to me because I want to help you with what you're doing. This is very near and dear to me as well. You ready for it?
Oh, yes. I've already taken it.
You already got it. Good. So you're good. Okay, number one, our children are not being raised with a spiritual foundation the way that we were. Now, although we may have challenges with the church and the mosque and so forth and so on, Black religion did make sure Black people had a spiritual foundation of strength. Our young people today are being raised by parents and grandparents who raised them on materialism, not spirituality. It's all about what you own and what you have. It's not about your connection to the divine source, right? So with that being said, our children are very weak. And because they are spiritually weak, they are so quick to resort to weapons and violence to deal with their pain. They don't know how to process pain without hurting another person. That's what's wrong. If somebody hurts you, you can process your pain without hurting that person. I can process my pain without hurting that person. But our children were not raised in a culture and in a community where they were taught that you can process pain without inflicting pain on another person. So when somebody does something to an African American today, their first idea, their first thought is, what can I do to somebody else in order to make sure they feel what I feel? And so we want other people to be miserable with us.
That rage.
And that's why it's so quick to kill, so quick to hurt, so quick to do harm.
That rage
we don't want to get rid
inside
of the pain. We just want to make sure other people feel it as well. And that's a very selfish thing, but that's where we are. So, you know, we have a lot of work to do. We have a lot of work to do.
Yes, we do.
And it will only get worse. It will only get worse if we do not start to address it.
Yes, in unity. I'm all for keeping it. You know, I'm all for, like, I also was hearing about, you know, somebody put a post up in reference to, you know, their boys not moving out of their homes. And, you know, I'm all for one. Like, I have two sons, and right now one of them is 22. You know, he's out in the world, you know, trying to find his way as a black male, as a black male in the society, of looking for work and looking for work that's going to allow him to be self-sufficient. But then in doing so, he's also finding a lot of, you know, backlash in that environment, because, you know, you go out there, you know, he's trying, and then he sees that somebody else is getting this job that's far lighter than him that applied for the same job. But it's like bringing our boy, our family, our friends, bringing unity and working together is the only way that we're going to successfully get anything gained. Energy, the environment, and what we're putting into our communities. This social media stuff is very scary. This technology is very scary. It's taken away from that family value. It's taken away from the family meetings, the group meetings. The kid that murdered my daughter, he said he told my daughter he was an atheist. He said he didn't believe in God. And I told my daughter, and this was her best friend. And this is why I feel like, you know, we're so much out of our homes as parents to supply and to make sure that we have what is necessary for our home. So a lot of parents may be kept away from home and cannot fully acknowledge or fully give that child that one-on-one to know when there is some red flags that's going on. I, for one, have, you know, I had a one-on-one, I had a mother-daughter relationship with my daughter. However, when you got that other source out there that has this greater love, to the point where they thought that love was going to be taken from them, rather than losing it, they decided to take it with them. Is if I can't have it, if I can't have, nobody else can have it. Absolutely. And that concept of why would he think like that as a child when you're only a and when you're only a child. And I also told her, I said, oh, he don't believe in God. I said, I mean, y'all are unequally yoked, my child. However, you know, whereas a lot of people, especially a lot of our black people would have been like, you know what? Oh, hell no, he got to get away from here. He can't be around this. He don't believe in God. That's the devil. You know, and I told my daughter, you know, I grew up a Baptist. You know, Christian. They're supposed to be the same. But however, in my walk, I found myself to be spiritual. I'm not a religion or a denomination. I'm spiritual. I'm a believer. And I told, however, I did refer back to what the book of what I feel like was given to us by the white man as a sense of control, because when our forefathers, when they once walked this earth, they didn't praise the book, they praised the heavens. They connected with the universe. They feet touched the ground. They were one with the universe and the animals and what was did I lose you? However, what I did tell her was, I said, you know what, in that book, however, the book says that when Jesus once walked this earth, he didn't come to look for all those who were already saved. He came looking for those who was lost and who were oppressed. So you must be his light to bring him into the light. but I never knew literally. So by you know, me being such a giving person, her being a giving person, it's like, okay, God, you know, what am I supposed to do to this? You know, rather than taking the pain and you want to take all the frustration out in a physical way, how do I get back in a positive way? And, you know, how do I shed light in a positive way? So it's like, you know, as I'm hearing you speak about bringing the community and us working as a unity, you know, what I'm doing is tedious, and it takes a team. No one person can build a building by himself. And yeah, however he can do it, but it would probably take him much longer than if you have a team.
Well said.
My reaching out was like, you know, hey, you know, networking is the key. And God put us in places, and I'm not a social media guru. I'm not always on social media, but I actually made this social media page so I could be able to give my testimony, so I could be able to post events and things like that to be able to give back to the community. But the strategy is everything, and having that team makes it stronger. And, you know, and because when you know that, you know, you got a sister here that's ready to stand and walk and whatnot. When you're in Atlanta, I'm also willing to travel. I'm a single parent as well, raising my last kid in the house. And as well as my 22-year-old, you know, y'all males take a little bit longer to kind of get on out the door. So I'm here, and I also got a male that I need you, I most definitely need you to lay your word on. As a matter of fact, I think he's the one that introduced me to your page, my 22-year-old.
Powerful, powerful. I look forward to meeting him.
Yeah, most definitely. So, I mean, most definitely in the future, may the energy in the universe bring us together to unite. Most definitely have your information.
Definitely.
And ready to share and work.
Will do. Make sure you send me a text message, Queen, so I can lock you in. So when you reach out to me in the future, I'll know it's you.
All right, most definitely, I will.
All right, love. We're going to talk soon. God bless you.
God bless.
All right, now. One love.
One love.
All right, family. This is King Kong Consciousness. I'm about to sign off. International Ifatunde, Philadelphia. I'm in the building. All right. Louisiana, February the 1st. D.C., February the 8th. Oklahoma City, March the 21st. White Plains, February 29th. Mississippi, April 18th. Cleveland, June the 20th. Sanford, Florida, May the 23rd. Dallas, Texas, May the 2nd. New cities and new trainings is coming up. Yonkers, New York. I'm coming to Yonkers April 25th. That will be a lecture. Dr. Umar, first time ever in Yonkers. You know what I mean? Let D-Block know I'm pulling up to the Juice Bar. Shout out to Kiss, Styles, and Chic. I'm coming to the Juice Bar when I hit YO. All right. I'll see my Jordan sisters in Paterson, New Jersey for the Fred Jordan Memorial fundraising dinner and scholarship and award banquet. I'll be there for that. Shout out to Rizza Islam. Shout out to Rizza Islam in the building. Shout out to all the young brothers doing good work. You know what I'm saying? So y'all know how to get at me. 215-989-9858. South Africa, June 16th. Dakar, Senegal, the end of May. Amsterdam, I'm coming. Get ready for the Dr. Umar first annual Caribbean cruise. Get that money up. The cruise is going to be about $1,500, excuse me. $1,500 to $2,000 for the Caribbean cruise. 9 nights, 10 days. We're going to hit up the Caribbean islands. Get ready for the Dr.P.O.P.A cruise and get ready for the Africa tour. We're going to do both of them this year. Let's have some fun while we organize and strategize to bring redemption to the people. This is King Kong. Donate to Frederick Douglass Marcus Garvey Academy. Keep me in your prayers. Get at me, 215-989-9858 or the 800 number 8444 Dr. Umar. And I'm out. One love.